Okay, in this video, we are learning the expectations for applying color to one of our textures. And we're going to be using watercolor for that. So what you're going to need is to pull out your watercolors, which have, hopefully, a paintbrush included. And you're going to need a cup of water. This stuff will wash off, but, don't pull out your favorite cup, but you will be able to wash it after the fact. One of the biggest, you have to do's in order to be creative is to create your own colors. You don't have to make big adjustments to the colors. Sorry, I was just getting rid of these crumbs right there that seem to be in my way. So you don't have to make a big change to the color you choose, but you do need to make a change. So first you're going to load the tray with a fair amount of water to mix your color with. Now you can pour, but don't pour a huge amount. And I think I already kind of had a piece of purple in there. So I think I'm going to stick with the cool colors then. Generally, cool colors are things that remind you of water, like green, blue, purple. Okay? So if you mix warm colors with cool colors, you'll get things like grays and browns, which I'm cool with. I like gray and brown a lot, but my students, not always so much. You should probably work at a table that you can clean. Not your best wooden table that doesn't do well with water. You can also put one of the big pieces of cardboard down under where you're working to help protect wherever you're working from getting wet. So I have some purple in here, so I'm going to go with purple. And again, don't use just straight up purple. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more water because I want a lighter color. Okay. All right. Now, I said that cool colors will mix best with that. So I'm going to add some blue. I don't know. I'm going to add a little bit of green. So it's just a slightly different purple than what the other person has, because they're not going to add the exact same amount of whatever you added. But I do want you to create and be creative by combining colors. Again, if I start adding warm colors, it'll kind of tone it down a little and get it a little more earthy. Earth tones are like browns and grays. So it's not as intense purple. Okay, so that's the big to-do. Is make your own color. All right. Now this needs to dry, but you just kind of quickly apply it. And then you're going to have to let your paper dry before we handle it anymore. Okay. So if you want to make that a brighter color, then you need to add more color to your water. All right. And you just work quickly. And you don't have to fill in any spaces. You're just adding a tone of color to an area. Okay? And you gotta let your paper dry before you do anything else to it. And see that? If I wanted to add more color to that area, again, I like browns. I like earth tones and tans, so that works out for me. I'm just thinking of if a student wanted to go back and apply a brighter shade of color in there, they need to let that dry. Because if you keep adding watercolor to your paper, you are going to make your paper super tired and weak, and it'll start ripping and getting roughed up and hard to work with later. So now that I have pretty much added color to all the area, it's got these different shades of purple in there. It's kind of cool. Kind of the tannish purple, the earthy purple, but they all kind of work together because they got purples in there. I need to let this dry now, all right, before I do anything else to it. And again, this right here is actually a reflection. That's why it appears white right now on the camera, but when I move my camera around, it changes. That's just a reflection. So if I like cover up, cast a shadow over it, the reflection goes away. It's kind of cool. But I gotta let this dry before I cut out any shapes. And I'm going to have another video on how to cut out shapes that will match the shapes in your drawing.